It's fun. It's wild. It's Dad's Gone Crypto.
Welcome everybody to Dad's Gone Crypto, another week, another episode, and we've got some cool AI intelligence and AI, some information for you guys. And the question we always have to beg is, what exactly is AI? If you go around to all your friends and ask them, hey, what is AI? You'll probably get 20 different answers. So I think it's an important episode just to delve deeper into what it actually is, how does it play a role in crypto, and how can people build applications and change the game in the space. Only by understanding it more can you basically change the space. And that's what we're going to delve deep into. But before we get there, Ryan, how's your week been?
Oh, it's busy as usual, but finally got that house done. So I'm not a construction worker anymore. Now I'm back to crypto. So very happy to be back to crypto, as is my back.
So crypto
open
painter
house
dad
was yesterday, so things are going well with that.
Good,
Right.
good. Well, wish you a
How about you?
Speedy sale, a very speedy sale. My side, all good. It's Friday. Hey. So yeah, it's the start of the weekend. So after this, we get to have a beer. Yay! And then tomorrow, a busy day. I got some more work, even though it's a Saturday. But apart from that, all good. All right. So artificial intelligence, right? It's important to understand. Well, let's break it down, right? So let's Google artificial intelligence. What is artificial intelligence? Okay, so artificial means made or produced by a human being. Artificial flavors means that the humans made those flavors to taste like chocolate. Meantime, it's just some byproduct. It's probably going to give you a third nipple. Intelligence, all right, what is the meaning of intelligence? What is the meaning of intelligence? Well, the ability to learn and understand or deal with new things or try new situations. The ability to apply knowledge to manipulate one's environment or to think abstractly as measured by objective criteria, such as tests, right? So if you break artificial and intelligence down, all right, you kind of get the meaning, all right, but it takes us nowhere closer to understanding AI, just probably paves the way. So let's delve into types of intelligence, right? So Harvard professor Howard Gardner has 8 types of intelligence. Ryan, would you mind going over a few types of intelligence that we use on a daily basis as humans? And then I'll come in with a few more as well.
Sure. So, according to Howard Gardner's 8 types, basically we have visual spatial intelligence, which is basically visual and spatial judgment, that sort of thing. We have linguistic verbal intelligence, so basically your words, language, your writing, how well you can write. We have logical mathematical intelligence, so that's basically analyzing problems, mathematical operations, all that sort of thing. And then body kinesthetic intelligence. So that's physical movement and motor control. So basically not just, your brain, but also how your body reacts.
And before we go on there, Ryan, so what makes someone more intelligent? So we often reference IQ, but think about sport. I can relate to sports, so we're using sports. So let's use physical movement motor control. What makes me different from, let's say, Ronaldo or Messi or Tom Brady, right? So he's obviously at a high intelligence level of motor control and physical movement. I'm pretty good, but I'm not as good as they are. And think about all the professional athletes. Let's take football. Messi and Ronaldo versus other professional athletes in their position. So we're getting specific now. What makes them, they're both professional, they're all professional, but what makes them just a little more superior? Well, they're equally fast, they're equally skillful,
right,
but one can process information or see things a little bit in advance. So making them basically superior in that particular. So now if you start to say, well, how do I become superior as a human? Well, you can work on these intelligence levels and work in them as opposed to walking broad-based on an object. You can go into body, you can go into the other areas and work on it. So some more intelligence realms Musical intelligence, think about Mozart compared to someone else that plays the piano. So that's rhythm and music. Interpersonal, so interpersonal intelligence, understanding and relating to others. If you can't relate to others, stand up. Intrapersonal intelligence, that's introspection and self-reflection. Once again, let's take a sporting term. What makes great athletes great and super intelligent in that space is their ability to look inwards to say, I could have done better. They can analyze the process and that, well, I should have scored their third goal. So let's say, example, they scored a hat trick. And I know Ronaldo, this is one. He scored a hat trick, but he should have scored 5 goals. Do you think he's happy? No, he's not happy. Everyone's like, oh, it's a hat trick, 3 goals. He's incredible. He's the best in the world. Meanwhile, all right, he's looking internally saying that should have been a goal. Maybe if I did this, maybe if I done that. So he goes, takes that introspection and self-reflection, goes and works on that particular move that he wasn't so great at or he was lagged in, and he works on that, and then he applies it the next game, and then he steps that up. That makes him more intelligent in that realm than other people. And then naturalistic intelligence, seeing patterns and relationships to nature. All right. And that is a skill. If you can see things before they're happening by identifying patterns, yeah, you definitely have an edge. So Ryan, tell me, there are 8, all right, intelligence levels, but there is a 9th one. What is the 9th one?
So the 9th one that's been more recently introduced is existential intelligence. And that's basically the ability to see the bigger picture.
So Ryan, I agree. It's the ability to see the bigger picture. And humans don't just work in one block. They don't just work in music. They don't just work in intro or interpersonal or linguistics. Yes, they might be dominant or superior in one of them, but it's how they all interlink that kind of makes up your personality and how you interact with the world. So improving each of those things. So if you had to basically say, well, I'm bad at musical intelligence, let's work on that. That'll translate into other areas as well. But of course, there's an outcome. We're trying to build something. So in AI technology, you'd not need to replicate that particular area. So you've got to go deep diving in that space. All right. So there are 2 classifications and stages of AI development. Right. So we got the narrow space, which is kind of weak AI, right? So everyone's going, woo, AI, everything's AI. Everything on the internet, every app you download has AI. It's irritating as F, right? But you can basically put it down to calling it weak AI, all right? It specializes in one task. There's no consciousness or emotion or general reasoning or capabilities. So think about Siri. Think about Alexa. I said, Alexa, who do you love most? She doesn't say it's me, so I don't like Alexa. But Siri says, I love you, Big Daddy. All right, I've trained her. Big Mac Crypto Daddy. And then think about your chatbots, your chat GPT, image recognition systems. And think about it in this way. So Facebook have been putting image recognition patterns in their software. I'll give you an example. I was out with my buds. We were at some Latin American dance party. We were having food. And then we were filming the beautiful lady busy doing the little cha-cha. And I just turned my camera and it was dark. It was very few lights besides the center stage. And as I panned to my friends, it actually picked up them and their names. And I'm like, whoa. So they basically just profiled all my friends in their place at that specific time. I'm glad we're not on the wanted list. Otherwise that would have been. So that's examples of narrow AI. Ryan, what is an example of general AI?
So general AI is, it's a little more theoretical. That's like human level intelligence. So, general AI would be machines that can perform any intellectual task that a human can perform. It was first theorized all the way back in like the mid 50s. They've worked tirelessly on it in many different situations. Back in the mid 50s, I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy who basically first theorized for artificial intelligence, started working on it and really believed that within the next couple decades they were going to have full on, artificial intelligence. And it's what the movie Space Odyssey 2001 is based on. The HAL figure in that, HAL 2000, is basically the AI version of what these guys were thinking. So Stanley Kubrick basically completely based HAL on that, on the writings of, and I wish I could remember his name, but again, it was all the way back in the 1950s. And over the years, they've done all these different studies back after the, in the 60s. I think that movie was released in like 67 or 68. Back when, after that was released, there was a whole nother, public interest in AI again. And they started, more studies. And continually tried to achieve this general AI. But again, that's like possessing actual human-like reasoning ability. And it's still not there yet. In the 50s, they thought a couple more decades. And then in the 60s, they thought a couple more decades. In the 80s, they did extensive research. The Japanese actually, put a huge program together, a government funded program to try to achieve true AI. And it again stalled out by the 90s. So it's something they've been toying with and trying to do for quite a while. But as of now in 2023, actual general AI still does not exist, but it's definitely closer than ever.
And also quantum computing is playing a role in helping to break that, because you need mass amounts of data for them to process, or robotics to process, to emit certain responses, like the feeling of love, the feeling of getting goosebumps on your body. Those things are very human-like. Consciousness, those things, how do you put it down to ones and zeros or data? So quantum computers trying to solve that, but they've also said it's not there yet, or not near. It's still quite a bit of stuff to get through in order for that to happen. So we're still far away. Our kids probably have a problem. They'll be dating robots. Siri 2.0, right? Blonde steel braids. Yeah. So another type of artificial intelligence is super intelligence, known as ASI. It comes after general AI, or general strong AI intelligence. And that's when AI surpasses human intelligence, right? And they start thinking for themselves, acting by themselves, and starting to build their own constructs as a being, right? So it's still theoretical and viewed as a potential future threat or development. There's also concerns about safety and ethics around that, because there's a lot that makes up a human being, right? We have compassion, we have empathy, we have love. Well, some of us have empathy. Some of us can relate to others. That's why you get dictators and people that want genocide and all of that, because they're missing that link in their intelligence. That's another story. But let's say a robot sees human beings as flies. What do we think you flies are? Flies are, there's nothing worse on this planet. Wait, there is a mosquito. Flies or mosquitoes are just useless, and we'll swat them six love, right? But what happens, but in the ecosystem of the bigger things, they actually provide food for the ecosystem. They provide soil for the ground, or nutrients for the soil. They're part of the ecosystem. Now, imagine robots become super intelligent and they're like, well, these humans are pretty lazy. let's just float them like flies, right? And what happens if we become inferior because they're superior, we inferior like flies? Then what's going to happen? They're going to start eradicating us. And then it's the whole Terminator story all over again.
Well, I think our current president over here is, I think ChatGTP is considered super intelligence compared to him. So maybe we're achieving it.
Yeah. Well.
But yeah, I think we've got a little ways before we have to worry about actual super intelligence from AI. But who knows?
Yeah.
So an actual type of AI that's been being used for quite a while now is basically reactive machines. So it's a basic AI system that doesn't have a past memory, It basically just responds to specific data sets of inputs. Like, for instance, like think about Deep Blue, the IBM's chess playing computer, and that kind of thing. That type of AI has existed for quite a few years now, and is continually to be built on.
And limited memory, so AI systems that learn from historical data using past information to make decisions. Think about weather systems, right? We can forecast future weather systems and future weather patterns based on the previous, calculating in current factors. So this is what's happening now, plus the data that happened in the past. Therefore, a predictive model can be made in order to say, hey, it's going to be, should I wear a shirt or should I move out of my house because a hurricane is going to hit me?
And then moving forward again for just another theoretical type AI would be theory of mind. And that basically refers to AI that could actually understand emotions, beliefs, and other mental processes in humans. That thankfully is still a concept that hasn't been realized yet, because as soon as AI starts wanting to be my psychiatrist, that could be a major issue.
I think the AI will start glitching.
Right.
Need more data.
There's no cure for you. No cure for you.
Just set the house on fire. There we go. Problem solved. So that leads us on to self-aware AI, where they have their own consciousness. So have you seen all the movies where you kind of, the action hero wakes up and then he switches on the lights and then he speaks to this AI bot? And it's normally a girl, and they say, "What are you doing today? I see that you're feeling a little bit stressed today. Would you like a cup of coffee? Take your pills. And they have this full-on conversation, almost as if they were in a relationship, right? And she can relate to his anxiety and feelings and almost coach him through the next process. That does not exist yet. All right, would be cool, although my wife would not like that. I'll have a French AI bot. Oh, oui, monsieur. You're looking so beautiful today. Whoa. Would you like some omelette de fromage? Yeah. I think my wife would definitely have a field day with the bot. So those were types of AI, and so now we can start to see, we know the intelligence part, which we kind of have to understand in order to create AI models for specific reasons. They're not all bundled into one. Think of AI as multi-leveled, multifaceted, and then think of crypto as, well, what am I trying to solve in different areas? What is ChatGPT trying to solve? What is Siri trying to solve? So now you start to see, oh, that fits into that category. Oh, this fits into that category. Predictive modeling, seeing the bigger picture. All right. Imagine taking football data, which they are doing, all right, and seeing that Ronaldo, 94% of, this is hypothetical, but 94% of the time moves left before he moves right. Then they take that data and they say, all right, they go to the defensive play and they sell the data to the defensive team and say, all right, he's going to go left. Put pressure on his left side or turn your body towards him, and then you'll be more favorable on a predictive model scale. So now you're not just going up against that person. You're smarter than that person because you've learned behaviors given by predictive models. So talking
except for the fact that except for the fact that humans actually have the ability to work around that. So as soon as your predictive model says he goes left every time and he sees people blocking him, he's just going to go right.
That is true, and that's also one of the beauties of being human. Is that once people find out your ways, you have to use your own algorithms to figure out how to get away from that person. So. Exactly. The beauty of being human. So Ryan, before we get into some examples of how AI can be used in crypto, what are some projects out there that are currently using artificial intelligence or building in this space?
Yeah, so one project that I've been following for actually a couple years now is Metaverse AI. They, when I first started following them, they were Polyverse AI. They changed their name to Metaverse AI, I think just to better reflect everything that they were building on. But they are a super cool company, and they haven't even released a token yet. But they've just been building and building. Basically they built throughout the entire bear market. Yeah, they even got involved with NVIDIA and got into NVIDIA's AI Inception program that basically they're working with NVIDIA's Omniverse and developing a complete open metaverse. So it's a very cool system. And the way they're working with AI, they are basically they're making virtual beings. And so they're taking that idea of general AI, which, basically AGI that we basically said really hasn't existed yet. And this is one project that is kind of pushing the cutting edge of that AGI. They're currently doing it with metaverse type ideas. So they're basically they're building what they're calling virtual beings, and these virtual beings are actually completely interactive, um, and basically can the idea behind them is that not only they look hyper realistic, but they also can interact with you in an absolutely realistic way. So they're building these virtual beings to be highly lifelike, and also with general intelligence, kind of is what they're stating. That basically, like, the first way they're integrating this is to gaming. So basically taking your non-playing characters and all the little guys you run up to and they have something to say in video games, and they've been in them for years. So they're NPCs, powered by this. Their Verse OS is basically their operating system that they've created here in Metaverse AI, and they're using these in gaming for NPCs. And basically, it's it's a it's an NPC that can actually strategize and communicate and collaborate with you in the game, which is just absolutely incredible. I mean, basically, you're taking an AI character and allowing it to have lifelike communication, which is just pretty incredible. They're using their applications not only gaming but virtual assistants. They're using it in the entertainment industry. Basically, they are making these beings that can be influencers and KOLs, which I think a lot of people don't realize that some of these Instagram influencers are actually fully AI created, and it's it's really crazy to think about. But so Metaverse AI is doing a whole lot of things behind the scenes right now, and I think you're starting to see a lot of their tech get played out in different companies. But yeah, they actually haven't fully released any of this to the public yet. This has all kind of been behind the scenes, which is really cool. And in my opinion, if you're looking for one, check out Metaverse AI and do a little deep dive into them. Maybe we can get them on the show sometime and do like an actual deep dive into what they're doing.
Well, think where gaming could go. Right now, you pick up a controller, you click on the game with your thumbs, and then you kind of immersed in it. Or you've got a mouse and you've got a first-person shooter. Imagine you had a headset that basically tracks your eyelids, tracks your movement, where you're panning your eyes most of the time. So it's saying, all right, you particularly go to the right or the left, or you move faster than the average person. Imagine it measures your metrics, your heart rate, your calmness, and then it starts to give this intelligence back to your AI character, right? So games don't have to end. Games can run 24/7. So while you're like, okay, I've played for 3 hours, I need to go do some work. So I allow my AI character to go on crusades and quests because it understands me. And then as long as I keep teaching this AI, it can go on more. So technically I level up. So it's another way. And then when I put my headset back on, then it becomes me again. It's like, all right, then I do the silly stuff like jump off mountains for the sake of it and crash into the oceans. So it does give gamers, and that's why gaming is the next narrative. While it's still part of the past narrative, the bull market, but it's also the next narrative because it's so exciting. There's the evolution of immersing yourself into another world and enjoying that world. It's like an escape from current reality. If you open up and you go outside, no matter where you are, there's always chaos, there's always war, there's always fighting, and then you immerse yourself in this world for just a moment. All right, and all of a sudden, you escape from the realities of life to a better place, and maybe that can bring you positive information. Maybe in that world you can train psychologists. So I have a therapy session with my psychologist, and he prepares me better, but I can feel free to speak to an AI bot. I kind of feel weird speaking to you, Ryan, because, might judge me, and you might be recording clips and posting it on the internet. So you see where it goes, is that trust level. At least the AI bot, he probably will do the same. But
well, how do you know the AI bot isn't doing it too? That AI bot's probably judging you too.
Because the bot loves me. My French bot will never do that to me. Next minute, you're knowing the AI bot is suing you for half the house in the car. And the microwave. She wants the microwave, bastard.
Right. Yeah, be careful with that.
So what other trends, or how can AI immerse itself into the crypto space? We're just thinking gaming now, but how can we dig a little bit deeper, right? So one good example, and this is going to be a massive, and they're really working on it, is trading and investment decision making, right? So predictive analytics. So you'll see that there's currently bots that people create that allows you to buy and sell as it dips and it goes past this point. It sends off a trigger to take my funds, buy. When it hits to that level, sell, buy, sell. It's faster, and all it functions is just those commands that you're doing. If it goes beyond this point, sell everything and I'm out. But this is still going on the bot that was developed, by someone, or which is a human, or someone that thinks that it's the next big thing, right? But it's not true artificial intelligence just yet, because it needs mass data. So the only guys that are technically going to get, the heads up are like your exchanges, like Binance, because they're the biggest. They're collecting data, right? If they're collecting data, they must be building bots and models to make sure that those micro buys and sells are making the money. You can't do it at home with just a few. Yes, you'll be slightly successful, but once the masses catch on to it, it won't be, because then they go against the algorithm. So trading bots, automated trading based on algorithms, and then it can also do risk assessments. So we are trying to figure out, is this project good? Is this project legit? So what happens if you have to train an artificial intelligence bot to run like a 300 checkpoint list? Go check domains, go check positivity of Twitter comments, which is possible right now. So there's a 90% positive rating on this. Great. There's a tick box. So it goes through all these checkpoints and gives you a rating to say, well, this project seems to be 60 out of 100 or 80 out of 100. This particular owner or founder has several companies valued at $200 million. So then you're like, okay, cool, check. So now they're doing the work for you, and you can move in and out of projects a lot quicker and make better decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. Another area that they're using AI for currently is in crypto would be fraud detection. AI can monitor crypto transactions in real time, and basically it can be used to identify unusual patterns that would be indicative of fraud. They're also using it in security. So AI-driven security systems, they can be more adaptive to new types of threats, and basically really enhance the security of wallets and exchanges and that kind of thing. And we're starting to see that pop up a lot, and they are already using this.
And just on the fraud detection, if quantum computing is around the corner and that can basically hack most systems today, they're going to have to fight it with AI defense mechanisms. So they can identify an AI attack and then send the troops in to nullify. It's almost like an artificial war. There we go.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's interesting times ahead. Optimizing of mining computers, right? So mining is very inefficient at the moment. All the tree huggers are complaining about, it's using a lot of energy and so forth. So how do you build something that is more efficient? Well, plug in the data, find out what's happening, how to optimize performance and output with minimal energy resources. So that's where AI can say, well, if you do this, that happens. If you do this, that happens. So that's where I think there's going to be a big booming. And of course, mining will be here for a while. And then hardware utilization. People build hardware with a human's mind, with a human mind intact, but maybe that's not the way it should be. Maybe there's a more efficient way of building that or sequencing that to get to the same. There's 100 ways to get from my house to Ryan's house, right? What is the most efficient? Well, it might be efficient, but it's very long. It might be very long and efficient, but yeah. So what I'm saying is that there's definitely room for improving things without human intervention.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they're also using AI and network management. So basically for adaptive protocols. So the AI can actually develop and implement adaptive network protocols that that can change based on the network usage needs it's seeing, which is really cool. And also network security. So AI can go through and help identify vulnerabilities in the network. And obviously it can do that a whole lot faster than a human can scan code. So very cool.
Personalized banking and finance. So we're trying to go decentralized, but at the same time, being decentralized means I'm still looking for a human to figure out that I did a bad transaction and where did it go? There's no one to speak to, right? So that I think where crypto lacks a lot is the support, and the more popular the product or service or coin or token, the less chance you're going to get a response from them. You know, Binance at one point took months to get back to clients that their accounts froze or whatever. So now see it as maybe a chat bot that can, predictive analytics say, hey, Sean is stressed about this. Well, what is he actually asking? All right, list of questions. Now, right now, you got, is it this, is it that? And you actually go through the sequence of events. But imagine on a call that they can identify your problem and give you a solution without a human being. So here's an example, right? So currently, call centers in South Africa are using some form of AI technology. So as the call comes in, now Ryan is the operator, and I want to take up you selling me insurance, Ryan. So I've got insurance, and I'm very stressed and I'm very irritated because you phone me at an inconvenient time. So the machine will really pick up on my voice, what level of irritation it is, and it'll prompt Ryan words to calm me down, to say, hey, I can solve a problem for you. Is there a convenient time, or do you have 5 minutes? If I got 5 minutes, it'll basically give the dialogue that's needed to close the deal. And this is happening in South Africa at the moment. So think about problem solving at a call center as well. You got a problem, call center people are generally useless, but now with the use of AI, they don't have to really think. They just have to follow the prompt sequence. And I feel great because my problem was solved very quickly, and I'll take up another product. So that's where they're using it. And these insurance companies and call centers are selling more product and making more ROI based on this chatbot technology.
And imagine it won't be very long until those chatbots actually just replace the telemarketers. I think
yeah,
as soon as basically, I mean, they could answer questions and talk just like a human. So I got a feeling this is coming.
Yeah.
I think a lot of low level employee type situations are going to be replaced by AI, but we'll see. But in crypto again, they're using AI in smart contracts. So you can have automatic execution within a contract. So the AI can be combined with the smart contract to not only execute conditions, but also adapt and respond to specific circumstances that may occur when the smart contract's being deployed. They can also use AI for error detection of contracts. So like before deploying a contract, instead of having to, read over hundreds and hundreds of lines of code, they can have the AI scan the smart contract for errors or vulnerabilities or basically anything that they're looking for. They can train the AI to do probably better and faster than a human can, quite honestly.
Regulation and compliance. So you started a crypto business and you are so busy building, you don't have time. And anybody building in the space doesn't have a lot of time. So as the SEC and as the universal world laws come into place, you're forgetting to do your administration and being compliant with your products and compliant with your technology, right? So what happens if you have an AI bot that's specifically in the legal side, that as information comes through and you have to be compliant, it prompts you, Sean, you need to do this in order to be compliant. Have you complied? Upload document. Boom. Upload document. checks the document, rewords it, because now we're using ChatGPT to reword it in the compliance language, and we submit it. Tick, done. So it keeps you up to date with regulations and compliance, and it forms, I wouldn't say replaces the legal department, but assists the legal department because if that person forgets, the lawyer is not going to take responsibility. You as a business owner are the person that is responsible. So at least if I've got an AI technology bot looking after my compliance lady or my compliance department as a fail-safe, I'm in good hands. Then, of course, KYC and anti-laundering, money laundering, using AI to verify identities and track suspicious activities more effectively. So is that Twitter user a bot? Is it a scam artist, or is it an actual person? You don't actually have to know that this is Sean van Staden. All right. It can be, my pseudonym, but the KYC place knows that I'm legitimate and has my details that it says that I actually am a human and operating within the legal framework.
Yeah, for sure. And another area is that they're using it in crypto is data analysis and visualization. So basically, blockchain analysis. So an AI can analyze an entire blockchain for insights or trends or valuable information that, again, it would be absolutely impossible for a human or even a team of humans to go and analyze an entire blockchain, where the AI can do it and actually pull meaningful information out, and then it really enhance the reporting as well. So the AI can analyze an entire blockchain and then generate a really informative and intuitive report for users and for businesses to decide, if number one, if they want to use that blockchain, and number two, the inner workings of the blockchain, which is it's really, really cool. I think AI in the crypto space is it's evolving very quickly. Probably more than most other spaces out there. And there's some real use cases for AI on the blockchain and in the crypto industry. So I think we're going to see more and more of it here this coming cycle for sure.
Definitely. And just remember, guys, in order to be true AI, you need massive amounts of continuous data. Think about the Tesla car. That Tesla car is picking up dozens of information sequences on a microsecond level, and it's collecting that data. Then they're timesing that by millions of cars. That's the type of data on a second per second basis we are talking about. Lots and lots of data, not your normal business data that you can just you can't make predictive analytics based on simple data, right? You need vast amounts of data. And that's where big companies and big tech are basically are pushing. They've got the data, they just haven't built AI tools and models to make that information more relevant and steer them in the right direction. So AI is coming to crypto. If you are in the space of AI technology and launching your project soon, please reach out to us. We'd love to learn more about your projects. Perhaps we can cover it on our show, giving our audience, the crypto dads, a better insight of what's happening in the crypto space. The more we dive into AI, the more we're learning about game technologies and theories and all of that, we are getting more and more excited, and the picture just becomes more clearer. Understanding AI now, and then finding out what people are doing and the importance of, let's say, AI avatar digital identity. You start to realize, wait a minute, my data is my own with my avatar, and no one can take it away from me, and that's amazing stuff. So incredible space to be in if you're building or want to build. Take a look at AI.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, and that concludes our AI technology for today, and we're on to the Dad's Got Jokes section. So Ryan, today
everybody's favorite
section. Woo! Don't forget to share, like, and it's the funniest thing. Like my sons, my son and daughter, they just love the joke, and like every day, Daddy. Tell Uncle Ryan I've got a joke. The joke is so bad, worse than Daddy's joke. I'm like, I can't. It's just, all right. He said, I want to see that joke on TV. I'm like, okay, my boy.
Well, let's hear it.
No. The problem is Daddy's old now, and he has to remember the joke. I was like, write this down. I go, big bold letters. All right. So last week you went first, Ryan. This week I'm going first. So
Excellent.
some sad news. My obese parrot died today. It's a huge weight off my shoulders.
Good one. I like that one.
Just wait until I create a Dad's Gone Crypto AI joke bot.
Yeah, we need it. We definitely need an AI joke bot. I don't think it should be trained on our jokes either. It needs to go out there and find its own. But anyway, I was walking down my road and I found a suitcase full of kittens. I was like, I didn't know what to do, so I called the local police department, and the dispatcher asked if the kittens were moving. And I said, I don't know, but that would explain the suitcase.
I like it. I like it. Welcome back, Ryan, for winning the joke of the 1st of September. Today is the 1st of September. Yeah, the 1st of September.
Is it? Oh, wow.
Jeez, I don't even know.
I don't even know what day it is anymore.
Oh, shit.
Oh, boy.
All right, guys. Well, that concludes our show for today. Thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We had a massive spike in subscribers last episode, and we thank all those who have subscribed. Please do subscribe, share with your friends, and come join us on the Telegram chats. We're going to be starting our gamification game soon, which will give you access to our Dad Sacks. We might be working on a little jingle, a little song for Dad's Gone Crypto. I'm still trying to get Ryan to dress up. It's work in progress, everybody. Work in progress. We're getting there, but we'll get him. Don't you worry. 20 cases of beer later. Anyways. All right, guys. Have an awesome weekend, and we'll chat to you soon.
See you guys.
Ciao.
The material and information presented in this recording are for entertainment purposes only. Do not misconstrue what you hear as investment or trading advice. Always do your own research. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by the guests on this recording are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of Dad's Gone Crypto or its hosts.